My name is Ethan, and I never thought that stories about me would be impossible to make up. But now I'm writing this myself, in a quiet apartment that no longer smells like lavender, and I don't quite understand why. But it seems that writing is my way of finding meaning in what's happening. It started like any other love story. I met Emily at a design conference in Portland. She spilled coffee on my sketchbook, and I told her she was a human hurricane. She laughed. We sat together at the next panel discussion, then went to lunch, then had drinks, and before we knew it, we were talking on the phone on weekends, transferring to the same university, and walking across the stage together to receive our design degrees. We were right for each other. And when I say we complemented each other, I don't mean that in a cliché way. She was fire, and I was calm. Alicia Champagne was wild and unpredictable. I loved structure. I loved deadlines. I loved checking things off my list. It was a strange combination, even a bad one. But somehow we fit together like pieces of a puzzle that didn't make sense together but still formed a picture. We both finished school and found jobs in Seattle, then rented a small loft apartment with high windows and bad plumbing somewhere in an underground neighborhood. We didn't care. We were young, broke, artistic, and madly in love with each other. We even painted one of the walls blackboard paint and started leaving each other silly messages in neon letters. I don't remember any of them, except for one. Don't forget to smile today, and buy oat milk, or I'll kill you. 3 years later, we got engaged. I proposed to her in Iceland under the northern lights, got down on one knee in the snow on a frozen hill and shouted, "Yes, yes, wake up or you'll leave your balls out in the cold." I was ecstatic. It was the happiest moment of my life. It seemed that everything AMC touched turned to gold. I had just been promoted to senior designer at my company, and she was quickly climbing the ladder at her advertising agency. We made room for adventure, friends, and lazy Sundays. Here it was, the thing I didn't want to do, paying bills and writing invoices while I taught her to draw while watching documentaries. Sometimes we lived in complete silence, just sitting in the same room for hours, completely satisfied with each other's company. But then, some little things started to change. At first, they were subtle. She started working longer hours. Her agency said they had a new big client, and the deadlines were crazy. I believed her because it was common in our industry. She started spending a lot more time on her phone, but I chalked it up to group chats and clients. I didn't ask any questions. And then her birthday came. I spent almost 2 months planning a party for her 30th birthday. She always complained that she hated surprises, but I knew her. She hated bad surprises. So I planned everything perfectly. I flew in all her favorite people, rented the rooftop of her favorite bar in the city center, ordered her favorite $32 California wine, and asked a local artist to make a cake that looked like her first big ad campaign, with the annoying pink flamingos and everything else she had asked for in the print version. I even bought her a gift that I was genuinely excited about, the golden coordinates of the place where we first met, on a necklace. Nothing fancy, but it was meaningful. I imagined her opening the little box and crying, and I waited for her reaction when she arrived at the party. Real, wide-open eyes, then tears, then sobs and hugs for everyone. But when she turned to me, something was wrong. She hugged me awkwardly, as if it were rehearsed, like an actress who plays an important scene perfectly. Her mouth was smiling, but her eyes weren't. I noticed it, but decided it didn't matter. Maybe she was tired. Maybe she hadn't slept. "I'm tired," she whispered to me at the party. "I'm leaving at midnight." I said I would go with her, but she shook her head, kissed me on the cheek, and told me to stay and enjoy the evening. "You worked so hard for this," she said. "You deserve to celebrate too." I watched her black dress sway behind her and felt nothing but pride and love. I stayed for another half hour talking to her sister, who mentioned that Emily had been distant lately. I dismissed it. "She's just tired." When I got to my car, I realized I'd left her card in the glove compartment. I decided to surprise her. I'd stop by her place with a piece of cake and maybe some tea. We'd end the evening the way it was meant to be. It took me 5 minutes to get home. The apartment was quiet. The lights were off. I took off my shoes, crept into the bedroom with the card, and froze when I heard a noise. At first it was faint, a rustling, a sigh, then a quiet moan. I couldn't even understand what my brain was trying to tell me. I froze at the bedroom door, listening to sounds that I had only ever heard in connection with us. Sounds that now seemed foreign and repulsive to me. I opened the door. She was there, on top of another man. His hands on her waist seemed to belong there. The necklace I had given her dangled around her neck, swinging from side to side. She turned her head. She saw me, and she screamed. Not out of fear, like a child caught with their hand in a cookie jar. I just stood there, watching, holding the birthday card that had belonged to me just a moment ago. The man jumped up and tried to pull on his pants, shouting, "Oh shit, what the hell? Who are you?" She cried, covering herself with a blanket. "Ethan, I didn't know you were home." The phrase made no sense. Of course she didn't know. I was supposed to be at a party, celebrating her life, her achievements, her existence. And she was here, destroying everything we had built. I dropped the card. It hit the floor with a dull thud. This time the man was fully clothed. "I didn't know she was engaged, man," he said. "I swear." I didn't answer. My eyes were fixed on her. "I'm so sorry," she sobbed. "I didn't want it to turn out like this. It was a mistake. I was so stressed and exhausted and—" I laughed, loudly. I don't know why. Maybe because it was absurd. Maybe because if I didn't laugh, I would have screamed until my lungs burst. When I turned and walked out, Metasofilu and the man were heading for the elevator. I didn't pack my things. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just left. I spent that evening at Kyle's place. He was ready to go there and confront her, but I told him it wasn't worth it. I needed time, space. The next morning, I didn't go to work. I didn't eat. I just lay on his couch, staring at the ceiling and replaying every kiss, every "I love you," every moment, now tainted with poison. She called. She texted. She emailed. The messages were all the same. "I'm sorry. Please talk to me. It was a mistake. I love you. I ruined everything." On the third day, I agreed to meet her in a public place, in a small cafe where we liked to spend rainy Sundays. She looked terrible. No makeup. Her eyes were swollen. Her hands were shaking. "I just don't know what to say," she said. "How long?" I asked. "A few months," she whispered. My heart broke even more. "Was it just him?" She nodded. Then she shook her head. "I mean, physically, it was just him. But emotionally? I don't know. I started pulling away before that." I asked why. She burst into tears. "I felt like I was drowning. Everything was perfect. Too perfect. You were always so good to me. But I started to feel like I didn't deserve it. Like there was something wrong with me." I just stared at her. I had been in love with this woman for almost 10 years. I would have died for her. And now she was standing in front of me, confessing that she was too happy for everyone. "I don't want to live like this anymore," I told her. "I'll go to therapy," she begged. "We can go together. I'll do anything." "I can't trust you," I replied. "If we don't have trust, what do we have left?" She cried. I didn't. We called off the wedding. I moved out. I took the dog. She didn't argue. We divided the spoils like men dividing a pile of ashes, knowing almost nothing about each other. The loft was cold, empty, like a museum of love that had ended. I threw myself into work. I went to therapy. I recovered. Slowly. Months passed, then a year. I started dating again, hesitantly. It was a disaster at first. I couldn't even hold someone's hand and be close to them without feeling guilty or nauseous. But then someone finally made me laugh. This woman who wasn't burdened by betrayal. One night, I was sitting on Reddit and came across a post in the relationships section. The title caught my attention. "I cheated on my fiancé with a coworker on my birthday and now I regret it." I clicked on it. My heart raced as I read. She described the party, the necklace, the man, the moment she was caught. It was her. She asked strangers if they thought she deserved forgiveness. In response, her post was flooded with thousands of hurtful comments about her appearance. Some called her trash. Others advised her to seek help. Some said we all make mistakes and people can change. I didn't comment. I just sat there and stared at the screen. I closed my laptop. And for the first time in a long time, I smiled. The reason was that I no longer wanted her apology. I got satisfaction through the internet. And I was finally free. The end.